Greetings, my lads, and welcome back to another edition of the Friday 13th YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about a fantastic German metal band called Sacred Steel. Now, the band are about to release their new album on Raw Records, and it's coming out on the 25th of April. It's called Ritual Supremacy, which is a brilliant album. And if you are a fan of thrash metal, speed metal, and power metal all in one, this is a band to check out. Now, the band were formed back in 1996 from a previous band called Tragedy Divine. Some of you guys may know the band who released an album on TT Records, Stroke Noise Records. And this band would feature Gerrit on vocals. Although Tragedy Divine were more of a speed technical thrash band, these guys are a little bit more different. Gerrit's voice is very unique and distinct, and in some ways kind of reminds me of Buddy Lackey or Devin Graves from Psychotic Waltz, a very unique sounding vocal range. Now, some of you may have seen my recent interview with Gerrit. If you haven't, please do check it out. It's a fantastic interview in two parts. Now, Sacred Steel are very much influenced by a lot of the metal blade bands from the 80s, such as Hellstar, Omen, Liege Lord, Savage Grace, Fate's Warning, Slayer, not to mention bands like Agent Steel and also Manowar. In 1997, the band had signed to Metal Blade Records, which is a fantastic label, as we all know, and all the classic bands from the 80s. And the band released their debut album, which was called Reborn in Steel, a great debut album. If you haven't heard it, check it out. And like I said, there was also a lot of influences there from the 80s metal blade bands, the Fates Warnings, the Savage Graces, Liege Lords, Hellstar, and Omens. This was a great debut album, and it was followed up by the band's second album, which was called Wargods of Metal, released in 1998. Great album title. In 2000, the band released the third album. This was called Bloodlust, seeing the band in a more heavier direction, but still cult classic 80s metal. In 2002, the band released their next album, which was called Slaughter Prophecy. In 2004, the band released their next album, which is called Iron Blessings. 2006 would see Hammer of Destruction. 2009, Carnage Victory. And also in 2013, the Bloodshed Summoning. And in 2016 will be the Heavy Metal Sacrifice. As you can tell, all these titles are very much old school 80s metal. This is where my heart is. I'm pretty sure most of you guys out there watching this are old school metalheads like me. Now, as you can see, the band have been releasing albums with a little bit of gaps between each album. And this new album, Ritual Supremacy, is a really good album. It's a bit darker than previous albums, but it's still pretty much Sacred Steel. Along with the original vocalist, Gerrit Mutz, would also have Jonas, Khalil on guitars, Jörn, Langenfeld also on guitars, Toni Ieva on bass, and on drums, original drummer Mathias Straub. So that's the lineup for the new album. Like I said, the album is very dark, but still pretty much Sacred Steel. You can check out the album cover right as I'm reviewing this album, which is a really, really good cover. So this album comes with 10 tracks. So now I'm going to tell you what the song titles are before we briefly break down the album. And so the album would open up with the opening track, which is the title track, Ritual Supremacy. This will be followed by a real 80s metal title. This would be called Leather Spikes and Chains. The Watcher Infernal, followed by A Shadow in the Bell Tower. Entombed within the Iron Walls of Dis, would have Bedlam Eternal, Demon Witch Possession, Convent of the Grace, Omen Rider, and the last song would be called Let the Blackness Come to Me. So that's the titles for the album. So I'm going to tell you what the songs are about briefly. So this album was produced by Benjamin Holly, who's done a really, really good job. He's worked with the band on previous albums. Now, the opening track, Ritual Supremacy, is a really good opening track. It's very heavy and it's very old school. Kind of reminds me of Later Hellstar. So if you do like Hellstar, you're going to really enjoy this song. His vocals kind of remind me a little bit of James Riviera, but not so much with a high pitch. This song also has some really good catchy riffs, especially towards the end of the track. All in all, it's a very powerful song with a lot of emotion and some really good track. All along, this is a very, very powerful song with some catchy riffs and some great melody hooks. Now, the next song, Leather Spikes and Chains, great title, as we all know. It's very old school. It takes me back to my youth growing up in heavy metal music. The lyrics are very, very good, very catchy, very old school. The music in general is really, really good song. It's a very brotherhood type of song, really bonded with the heavy metal scene. So if you are a fan of people like Manowar, this is for you. This is a really good song. Like I said, it really does capture the essence of heavy metal, how we all come together as a community. Now, the next song is called The Watcher Infernal. Now, this kind of reminds me of two bands, Dream Evil and Hammerfall. It's kind of got that Swedish vibe to it. However, it's still very much German. So if you are a fan of Dream Evil and also Hammerfall, with the essence of old school US metal, this is a fantastic song. Not only does it have that Hammerfall and Dream Evil vibe, it also has a little vibe of Dio. So if you're a Dio fan, this is a great song. It's a mid-paced song, but it's really well thought out and some catchy riffs and some great vocals. And next up is a song called The Shadow in the Bell Tower. This is a more up-tempo song, very heavy at times. Kind of reminds me of the early Tragedy Divine album. But the band have moved on. It's very progressive. It's very heavy. Really well thought out song. So if you do like a really good headbanging song, this is one of the best songs on the album. Check it out. It's called A Shadow in the Bell Tower. All in all, this is a really, really good album. It's got a variation, different types of music. Like I said, speed metal, thrash metal, power metal. There's also a little bit of doom in there, especially with the song called Bedlam Eternal. So, guys, if you do like Sacred Steel's previous albums, this is a great follow-up. So check it out. It's called Ritual Supremacy, released on Raw Records. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. Thanks for watching Metalheads. More reviews coming soon. So, folks, check out the link for a song from this new album. Let me know what you think. Leave some comments. Thanks for watching. More reviews coming soon. Stay metal.